Hello and welcome back to WolfeSound. Today, we're talking about psychopaths. Here's a story. Not all who are breathing are alive. Some die of emotional pneumonia by the coldness of their soulless hearts and the virus that destroyed their conscience. Psychopaths have zero affective empathy. However, they do tend to have excellent cognitive empathy. A psychopath once told me that emotions are overrated and they are the main obstacle to our safety, success, and also prevent us from truly seeing through people. I was perplexed to say the least. However, I was willing to listen. My emotions have often compromised my intellect and my better judgment, including putting me in near-fatal situations with criminals just like him. My first encounter with a criminal psychopath was some 25 years ago. That's a life sentence he certainly deserved to get. Yet instead, I carried those years thanks to victim shaming. It's still okay though, because it was an opportunity for growth that led to a miraculous metamorphosis. If it wasn't for that pain, I may have never had any valuable lessons to pass on to others. So maybe this was my calling. If it meant I had to become a cautionary tale, then so be it. I am happy to report that I took that tale and turned it into a lighthouse that illuminated the path for others and possibly saved someone out there. I hope that you turn your cautionary tales into lighthouses. This is the only way to get your power back. At the time, I firmly believed that everyone is inherently good. Should they behave badly, surely it meant something bad happened to them that made them that way. I was wrong. This belief brought me to the brink of death a few times over. I couldn't reconcile the idea that someone looks human, but with no hint of humanity except for when he's laughing or raging. I also saw him scared a few times. They are cowards. He was an aspiring comedian, but there was nothing funny about him holding a gun to my head. My reaction was laughter, however, which is a reaction I didn't have time to analyze. I must have been overwhelmed with the amount of unfamiliar circumstances that laughter became the only possible way to respond. We don't know how to react when we don't know what to think. Once thoughts shut down, so do emotions and reactions become random. He was in the driver's seat of my car, me in the passenger seat. Los Angeles was a new city for me. I have only been there 6 months when he introduced me to Mulholland Drive and all the gruesome crimes that took place there. He also told me it's a residential area. These rich people would turn off their lights and they would not come out of their houses if they hear anyone scream, and they don't call the police either. So it was hopeless. Sitting in the car, surrounded by darkness in this residential area on a winding road, with the hills threatening more danger. It's amazing what you learn about yourself staring down the barrel of a gun. My laughter made him go nuts, as though there was more crazy in him left to reveal. He grabbed my hair so hard, I had no idea it's firmly stuck to my head. It was excruciating. When he released me, I backed into the car door, staring at him in disbelief. In his frustration, he opened the door, pushed one of his legs against my body. I flew out of the car, and he sped away before I fully rested on the ground. With his horror story still fresh in my mind, imagining the Hillside Stranglers or Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, or someone like them coming for me, I began to pray for this psychopath to come back. And he did. I go back into the car. A psychopath, is certainly less frightening than one you don't. I had to start over with a new one. This is how my journey began into the world of psychopathy and its near-fatal aftermath. Whether it's insanity or stubbornness, I had to understand, and this is why, once I escaped this man, 2 years later, with a trail of destruction that took me 20 more years to recover from. My hunt began for more of his kind. There was no way I would leave it at that. When I came across Dr. Robert D. Hare, everything started to make sense. He is CM, a Canadian psychologist known for his research in the field of criminal psychology. He's a professor emeritus of the University of British Columbia, where his studies center on psychopathology and psychophysiology. Opposite to popular beliefs, psychopathy is not a personality disorder, but a mental illness. Even though many use the term interchangeably with sociopathy, and despite the striking similarities, there are marked differences. The most significant one is that psychopaths are born, while sociopaths are made. The following are some traits that sum up a psychopath by Dr. Hare, who created a psychopathy checklist using the following 4 scales: interpersonal affective, social deviance, impulsive lifestyle, antisocial behavior. He specified 20 criteria to look for, and based on the score, we know where on the scale the subject lands. I highly recommend you read more from Dr. Robert D. Hare and check out his book, Without Conscience, to know all about psychopathy. Even though psychopaths are a minority, there is a high probability you have come across one. They are social predators and usually disguise themselves well as they infiltrate themselves in all areas of life. They can be easily found in high-profile corporations or stalking the night looking for someone to kill. There's a technology called transcranial magnetic stimulation, aka TMS. It's a magnetic device that scientists attach to the head, which triggers your amygdala and the surrounding area that is responsible for empathy and emotions. You become a temporary psychopath, unable to feel disgust or horror at morbid images, but feel elated and struggle to keep from smirking. A good indication someone may be a psychopath is when you notice an involuntary smirk on their face when you're going through a crisis. Since they mimic others as much as they can, you may notice how they confuse reactions at times. Nothing about him was real. The dream he sold you is completely manufactured. Psychopaths are the most emotionally illiterate because they don't give much thought to emotions. Our humanity is made of emotions, and psychopaths have severe deficiency, which is why they feel contempt and envy due to this lack. What we deem important of our relationships, kindness, joy, and general feelings, psychopaths don't care for, because they are things that these are things they don't think much of. They would tell you how emotions are overrated and how they're the cause of human weakness. They resent you for being happy and be able to connect with others. Holidays and birthdays are occasions for the psychopath to ruin your day. They cannot connect with what is right, good, and kind. When someone asked Ted Bundy why he would think murder is bad, Bundy compared it with jaywalking. It's simply against the law. Ted Bundy, the serial killer, was a law student, intelligent, and even volunteered in a suicide hotline and was successful at it. Some psychopaths run major businesses and run for office. Most psychopaths are not murderous freaks who look like a boogeyman. Some of them are equipped with handsomeness, charm, wit, and success. Note, please refrain from diagnosing the people around you. If you are in danger, it doesn't matter what diagnosis they have, just seek help. In the next episode, we will address differences between psychopathy and sociopathy and also get a little deeper into their motivations. Thank you, and tune in for the next episode. Thank you very much.